Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Andrew Osborne. I am the chairman of Osborne, who are the contractors here. And I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to you all to the Renaissance project. And thank you all for joining us at this topping out. And at Osborne, we are all absolutely delighted to be involved with this project. We like to see our purpose as a business is building to improve people's lives. And it's a great pleasure to know that we are making some small contribution to revitalizing the Jewish community and beyond, and helping to create a significant and a lasting legacy. Every construction project tends to take on its own life. But I think this is particularly unique, and it's not just because we're trying to build it in a global pandemic, which brings its own problems, but it's certainly the first time that we at Osborne have built a shul. It's very much the first time we've built a mikveh, and as a process we've learned a great deal about the cultural and religious element of Jewish life. As you can see, we've achieved quite a lot. We have put in 450 contiguous piles around the perimeter, down to a depth of 13 metres. We've excavated about 48,000 cubic metres of earth to create the space for the car park, the basement, and the area for the mikveh. And in the frame, we have something like 4,500 cubic metres of concrete. There are 600 tons of reinforcing steel, and there are 400 precast columns, and I'm delighted to say we have reached the milestone of topping out. It's a time-honoured tradition, and if I may, I'd like to say a few words about the history of topping out. It is an ancient ritual, and it marks the reaching of the highest point. In the days before plumbers and electricians and dry liners, that would have been the end, it was finished. However, modern buildings are a little bit more complicated. Topping out was historically performed to ensure that there were no evil spirits trapped inside the building when the envelope was sealed. It's an opportunity to draw breath, to take stock of what has been achieved thus far. 20,000 man hours and woman hours that have gone into getting the building to this point. It was an opportunity to wish for a safe completion. Now, topping out, as I say, has a long history. It appears in the Bayeux Tapestry. Chaucer refers to topping out in his Canterbury Tales. It's believed to date back some 7,000 years to the time of ancient Persia. But it came to Britain with the Vikings about 1,300 years ago. And the mythology was man originated from the trees, and on death, man returned to the trees. And as timber was the most widely used building material, you need to appease the spirits that have been displaced. What tends to happen in topping out ceremonies is quite often a decorated fir tree or a Christmas tree is raised to the highest point. The Scandinavians will add a few sheaves of wheat, and the reason they do this apparently is because Odin's horse, Sleipnir, has 8 legs and needs a bit of extra feeding. In the US, the skyscrapers of New York, they would often strap a tree to the highest point because the Native Americans, who made up quite a high percentage of the workforce working at height, had the view that actually no building should be taller than the trees. So they just raised the tree up to the highest point. In Britain, the tradition was to place a yew branch at the highest point. There are more bloodthirsty versions of topping out. When the Romans completed a bridge over the river Tiber, the Pons Subligus, in 621 BCE, they celebrated by throwing human sacrifices down into the river. And when Shah Jahan completed the Taj Mahal, he allegedly had the architect's eyes put out. Human sacrifices were not completely uncommon, and sometimes it was the architect who was the chosen victim, because then they could stand guard over their own creation. Now at this point, as contractor, this is my opportunity to stand back and give the architect all the credit. It's a great design, and this will be a fantastic building. This really will be a fantastic building. So my thanks go to Lap Chan of Morgan Khan and to Tiva Hess from FC Muller for their fantastic design. I'd also like to say thank you to Bob Whittaker and Chris Tunbridge of BLB for all their help throughout this project. Thank you to Jim and Alan and all the team from Osborne for all their hard work, their ingenuity and innovation in dealing with the issues that any project throws up from time to time. But thank you. And also thank you to Dan Kelly of Modebest and all the Modebest team, who are the concrete frame contractors, and they have done so much to get the building to this point. So, thank you very much to all those who have been involved in getting the project from the very start of an idea to where we are now. Thank you very much, and may this project be blessed by a safe completion. I'm delighted that the Rabbi will be doing a blessing later on. I'd like to take this opportunity to ask David Siddell and Michael Davids to come forward, and we've got a little bit of work for you to do. Firstly, I'm going to present you with a commemorative trowel. So this trowel is just to commemorate the event. So this is the easy bit. So handing over the commemorative trowel, and then we're going to ask them to fill in the final bit of concrete to complete the frame of the building and represent the topping out. So, gentlemen, congratulations and thank you.
Family and friends, it's lovely to see everyone here today on such an important occasion. Brighton and the Jewish community, it's a game of two halves. Brighton is an amazing place because it's a non-conforming society. This project also has a history, and his thanks to some people. First of all, to BHHC, who it's their site, and we're working with them as a partnership. And David, thank you as the chairman. It's not, you've not had an easy time. It's been, over the last 5 or so years of working with you, it's been a real pleasure. Appropriate that you and Michael did the final bit of the topping out, because Michael it was back in 2015 who let us know about this, the situation with the shul, and then David, and we've talked quite a lot over the last 7 years about how to create the right scheme for the situation. And Ben, in later times, and Susan, who've been a big part of trying to create the right structures to drive the partnership forward. And of course Rabbi Rada, who's been in the mikveh a few times already in the last few months. And Osborne as the contractor. Andrew, thank you so much for your part in this, and Gordon, I know, has been a great help to us. And then on particularly in terms of running this job, Jim and Alan. And I also want to thank Derek, who designed the Amex and built the Amex. Andrew mentioned that it's been 120,000 work hours, man hours of work on the project. I think probably 119,000 of those have come from Chris and Bob, who are project team. But Chris and Bob, who've from the client side, have overseen what's gone on and done an unbelievable job. It's a tough job to pull together so many different disciplines and to work with so many rabbis. About 2 weeks ago, we had 4 rabbis inspect the mikveh, including Rabbi Posson, who's a world expert in mikvahs. Bob knows more about mikvahs, the Hashoko tank, the rainwater tank. He could write an anthology on mikvahs. I also want to thank the architects at LAP who came up with the idea of the design. We recognised that the shawl needed to be the jewel in the crown in the middle. That was LAP's idea, and Morgan Khan, local architects, have done a great job. And then Teva. And then there's so many other people in London I just wanted to mention briefly. Here and Yaniv, who are going to be driving, please God, the kosher food. But they've also been a tremendous help in the kitchen design. So I want to thank them. I want to thank Work Avenue, who are helping us with a co-working space, and they're a wonderful charity in London. They help people back into the workforce, and they help young startups with networking and other opportunities, and they're going to be a big part of what we do going forward. There's been a lot of help we've had from London, and the Office of Chief Rabbi Sachs has been a big supporter of what we're doing, and he's just a great advocate for trying to revive Brighton's Jewish community. So that's all been amazing. We want to create an amazing asset for the entire community, the entire city of Brighton and Hove. Because the great thing about Brighton is that it is a very welcoming city. It's been very easy for different minorities to live in harmony with each other. And we absolutely want people of no faith, of all faiths, to come together, build on interfaith relations, and just enjoy what we have here, whether it's the residential or the food or the co-working or some of the community events. That's really important. And then the third big ambition we have is that this should become a holiday destination for the UK Jewish community overall and the international Jewish community. So people should be coming to Brighton and seeing what a special city it is, and availing themselves of the facilities here in the knowledge that there's kosher food and all the infrastructure you'll need for a kosher life here and for a kosher holiday. We're calling the project Sapphire Hove. So we're a charity called BNJC, and then Sapphire Hove is the name of the residential development, and it's named after the sapphire stone 10 Commandments. Sapphire is a very important colour in sort of Jewish history. And so Sapphire Hove launches today, and what we really want you to do is let everyone know about it and start to revive the community. I want to thank my trustees who are here to support today. So please follow us and spread the word and register interest. So thank you. My final thank you goes to Peter. We didn't have an easy time through the planning process and the application to the council. There were a few objections, and some of them weren't always nice. And Peter, everything he could to encourage a dialogue between us and some of the people who are objecting. And it's a huge pleasure, and I'm very grateful you've taken the time out of what is an incredibly busy calendar to be with us today, and a pleasure to hand over to you.
Thank you.
The person I really should thank the most, of course, is Tony. Tony's generosity and his vision. So, of course, Tony, above everyone else, I think, deserves our thanks for making this happen.
Thank you so much for having me here. Andrew was saying a bit earlier that ordinarily at ceremonies like this you'd have a Norwegian spruce here. Well, we don't have one of those, but I'm starting to think that's what my role is in this in this particular ceremony. One of the things I've learned in my time as an MP, which is only 5.5 years here, is that good things never, ever, ever happen by accident. To make something bold and good happen takes so many good people to put in so much effort. It's the only way that good things happen. The work that they put in was so often hidden away, and we never really notice it. And it's only when something like this happens that you really see the fruits of the work that they put in. And our community here will be grateful for it for a long time to come. I, at the very beginning, was briefed on the project, and it's a real testament to everybody who has supported this project that it has become a reality. And we're in an era where a lot of people are talking about the Jewish community, often for very good reasons, and often for the sad fact that too often it has been under attack. But the thing that's always been really hard for me is that most people will only experience Jewish life by seeing it from the outside, by walking outside of our wonderful synagogues in our community. Not very many people get to experience it from the inside. And for all of the reasons that I've heard today about the significance of this building, from residential to commercial to cultural, all of these really, really fantastic reasons, one of the things that I'm really pleased of is that this is going to be a facility, an area where everybody from the community can come in and experience and feel part of Jewish life. There will be a cafe here where people can come in. There will be a shop which, yes, is selling kosher products, but it's a shop that everybody can come in and experience and buy and interact and feel part of the broader Jewish community. And that for me, I think is really significant. So I'm just here to say thank you on behalf of our whole community. For the years to come and generations to come, this is going to be a key pillar of our community. And the fact that we're standing here in two people's future homes, and it is great just to be this physical presence right in the heart of our community, halfway between the South Downs and the coast, right in the heart of our community where the Jewish community deserves to be. So thank you to everyone who made this reality, this a reality. It is a wonderful thing to see at this point, and this is only the beginning.
I see so many people from different sections of the community here today, and I'm very happy also that Mark mentioned Tony Bloom. It's his big heart that has enabled this project to reach this stage. And it's particularly wonderful for me to see Ronnie here. And I can only imagine how much nachas you're having here today. You must be kvelling. And I'm sure Lucy is having tremendous nachas too. Nothing greater. Fantastic. I'm very happy. I'm happy for Mark Sugarman. I said to him, I was here a few months ago with him, and I said, "You're building a lot on this site." And he says, "That's what I'm trying to tell everybody. It's a big site, you can get a lot on it. And it's your vision. And you've done a tremendous, tremendous job. And we all give you a big yeshur koach. Thank you so much for what you've done." You know, it's apparent that this is a facility for the community. And there is a passage in Shakespeare's Julius Caesar. It's the words of Brutus. And he says the following. He says, "There is a tide in the affairs of men, which, taken at the flood, leads on to fortune. Omitted, then all the voyage of their life is bound in shallows and in miseries." This is the tide, this is the flood, this is the high tide. And we've got to grab onto this opportunity. We've got to go with it. We've got to sail with the opportunity which is being given to us. There is so much potential over here. And we've got to make sure that we utilize this potential and we live up to the promise which it has. I've been asked to give a blessing. We have a traditional blessing in the Jewish religion for just about everything. But before all of these blessings, there was the priestly blessing. The priestly blessing is Birkas Kohanim. It is the blessing which is given by the priests, the descendants of Aaron, Moses' brother. In English it says the following: "May the Lord bless you and protect you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord turn his face to you, lift his face to you, and grant you peace." What does it mean? Well, the first line is very straightforward. May the Lord bless you. Bless you with what? With all those things that you want, and protect you that people shouldn't take them from you. The second line, may the Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. If somebody likes you, their face lights up, their face shines upon you, and obviously they want to be gracious to you. There are times maybe when we anger God, and we ask that even in those times when he's angry and maybe he doesn't want to look at us, nevertheless he should lift up his face to us. He should be merciful. And it ends with the most important words, and give you peace. Because if there's one thing the world needs, and if there's one thing the community needs, it's peace. Shalom. Now, it's not traditional for the rabbi to give a blessing. Traditionally, it's a Kohen, it's a priest, a descendant of Aaron, who gives a blessing. And we have a Kohen here, so I'm going to ask Michael Crook to come up here. And I want to tell you something. There was a triumvirate within our community. There was David Seidel and Michael Davids, and they did a great job with the trowels and putting the concrete. But Michael's going to help me. He's the Kohen. He knows these words. He knew these words before I did, I think. And he's going to help me. We're going to say it together in Hebrew. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav eilecha v'yichuneka. Yisa Adonai panav eilecha v'yaseh lecha shalom. We should have peace. We should have unity in our community and in all communities all over the world. Thank you.